Hello, lovelies. Let's chat about essential oils. All right, so what is an essential oil? We're seeing them everywhere, from your grocery store to, pharmacies to anywhere you practically go. Everywhere is selling their own specific brand of essential oils. So what is an essential oil? Well, essential oils are the aromatic compounds that are in our plants. They're in the seeds, they're in the bark, they're in the roots, they're in the flowers, they're in the fruits, and they're what gives the flowers their essence, their smell. When you peel back an orange and that fine misty smell of the orange comes up and you can almost feel the spray from it, that's the essential oil, that's the essence of it. Now, the magic is that these oils actually work with our bodies on a core cellular level, and they can influence our body effectively and positively and without building up any sort of resistance. So our body's not saying, oh, great, thanks for the lavender, that helped me to sleep last night, but it's not going to work tonight. That's not how it works. We don't build up the resistance. Our bodies it works with our bodies at that deep core level and at the cells, and really help to enhance our body and our cells and on so many different levels, physically and emotionally and mentally. All right, so that's great, right? That's awesome. And we are seeing essential oils everywhere, like I said. So, however, what makes certain brands better than others? Well, I have aromatherapy training kind of stemmed back almost 20 years now when I did my aromatherapy training and my beauty therapy training. And, I will admit, even for myself, I didn't really full-fledged into the whole aromatherapy usage and bringing them into my home like I would, you would thought I would, right? I would use the basics. I would use kind of your tea tree or your lavender or eucalyptus, and that's basically what a lot of us know and have used for years. But essential oils and the use of aromatherapy dates back to ancient times. Around 3000 BC, we can tell where ancient Egyptians were using plants and trees and shrubs for medicinal properties. And so now we are in a very unique time where we are actually really starting to accept essential oils again in the way that we should, and realizing their full benefit. And that is powerful. However, I want you to use only the best and the purest essential oils possible. Why? Because they're not going to help you otherwise. Let's just be very honest here. Let me give you a little backstory. So in the essential oil kind of realm for many years, there's been this kind of like production chain, right? Now, to get these specific oils, we need to obtain the crops of the plants, the seeds, the bark. We need to get these specific crops, and you need to have the best conditions for them to grow. You need to have the best soil, the best weather, and to produce the best crops, right? And the people that tend, the farmers and the growers that tend to these crops, they haven't been fairly compensated over many years, because there was some sort of middleman. There was the growers and there was this middleman, and then the essential oil company. And the middleman would obtain the crops, obviously get them distilled so that they became an essential oil. And then on top of that, they would then go ahead and somewhere along the process, either at the middleman or once it hit the essential oil company, I'm pretty sure once it hit the essential oil company, this is where it happened, that the oils would get diluted down. They would get stretched. and they would add in different fillers, especially maybe more carrier oils, which will go rancid. You know, essential oils will not go rancid. They will, they don't do well if they're kept in sunlight, so don't keep them. That's why we have them in low amber bottles to deflect that sunlight off. But the properties and the therapeutic value of the essential oil will decrease and diminish if you leave them out in sunlight. So don't do that. But then so going back to my story, these essential oil companies used to then put these fillers in and dilute the essential oils down to make them, number one, you know, I think it was done in a probably a good way, that they were trying to think that most of the consumers didn't do aromatherapy training like I did, know how to use these oils safely, and they weren't, you do need to use them safely. And so they were trying to produce something that was safer for the general population to use, number one. And number two, they were cheaper. Far cheaper to do it that way. Let's face it, you got these crops, and you know, what if there's a natural disaster that threatened the production of these crops? Well, then the price of everything goes up. So for people to actually purchase them and buy them, especially when they don't know how to use them correctly, the best way was to essentially dilute them down so that they were cheaper and they were easier for people to use. Right? So that makes sense. It totally makes sense. However, enter doTERRA over 10 years ago now, and they said, hold on a minute. This is not what aromatherapy is, and this is not how things should be done. First off, they start right from, they work directly with the growers of these crops, and they source their essential oils from over 40 different countries. And they work directly with these artisan growers and harvesters and farmers, and they give them fair compensation, fair wage for their crops, which is key. They are creating communities, creating opportunities for these people within the communities to have jobs, number one, to provide them with what they need to essentially have the crops and to have a good community. They're providing running water in places that there wasn't before. They're providing education for the children in those communities. They're helping get those communities healthy within themselves, you know? And that's the heart of doTERRA. They work right with those people and say, hey, look, we want to help you grow, thrive, succeed. What can we do to help you do that? And that is beautiful. That's what humanity is about, people. And then they take the essential oils and they test them internally in their own labs and externally with a third party to make sure that the oils are as pure as they could possibly be, making sure the purity and potency is at its all-time highest. They're checking for heavy metals, they're checking for contaminants, they're checking for any fillers, they're checking for everything to make sure, pesticides, to make sure that what we are getting is of the purest quality, right? Then they'll bottle it and send it out to us directly, right? Where we can get reap the full benefits of these therapeutic oils. So we are actually able to use these oils in a way of them actually working, actually doing what they're meant to do. And that is why doTERRA has created the structure in which they do, where they have wellness advocates like myself. Now, obviously, my training started over 20 years ago, but they are continually trying to educate people that will then re-educate other people or educate other people on how to use essential oils and how to use them safely and how to use them effectively. And that is where it is key to have a wellness advocate like myself that can guide you along the way of using these oils for your body, mind, and soul, and to promote homeostasis within the body, to promote calmness, to promote a sense of well-being, like true and honest well-being. And it's that kind of community that has really been able to allow people to understand what essential oils are, the benefit of them. And that is where all these other companies are now piggybacking off of doTERRA's success and saying, oh, people are starting to catch on to essential oils now. Essential oils is the thing. And they are then trying to catch up and trying to put these oils onto the shelves in any place possible to get the sales. Now, here's the thing. There is no governing board that tells any essential oil company what they can put on their labels. There's no governing board that tells them they have to meet a certain standard and criteria for them to label it 100% pure. There's nobody that goes and tests these essential oils to make sure that they are pure. Nobody. So these essential oil companies can put as 100% pure on their bottle and on their label without them being 100% pure. Nobody to test it, nobody to figure it out, right? There's no like FDA of the essential oil world. No one to regulate it. So this is where you as a consumer needs to be aware and be conscious of the essential oils that you're bringing to your home. And are you really wanting to diffuse essential oils that are going to have contaminants in them that's just going to contaminate your air? Well, that's not the point of essential oils. So that is why a lot of these essential oil companies will put on their labeling, do not take internally. Well, that's for a few reasons. Number one, because they're stretched oils. And number two, because not all essential oils can be taken internally, just like we see out in nature. There's some berries that you can happily eat, strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, and there's some berries you do not eat because they are poisonous. So same with essential oils. There are some oils that you can safely take internally and some that are not meant to be taken internally because they will be toxic for our bodies. So this is where being educated and finding out the right ways in which to use essential oils is key and important, and that's a big part of my role in using essential oils and teaching and sharing my wealth of knowledge about essential oils. So if you are someone who has essential oils, uses essential oils, is curious about essential oils, then please join me as I continue to do these videos and educate you on how to use them safely and effectively. All right, guys, have a lovely one.